Hey, what's going on? I just got done watching the Catholic Central girls play the girls from Urbana. It was a good win, 3-1. Um, it's one of those games I think that uh, it was an interesting game to say the least. I mean, in good and bad ways. Um, I noticed a lot of things going on in that game. First of all, I wanted to say this is one of the worst officiating games I've seen in a long time. The referees were terrible. I counted at least 5 handballs that they missed. Um, there's a lot of fouling going on. Urbana was playing very, very dirty. One thing I really liked about the Catholic Central girls, though, one thing I've always liked about Catholic Central is they don't play dirty soccer. They come out to play soccer. They don't play rugby with you. They're not trying to physically hurt their opponents. They're not grabbing on you, pulling on your jersey, trying to slam you. Um, and I really like that about Catholic Central. They have a great. They play with great sportsmanship. They play with a lot of composure. I think the parents there are amazing. They're always involved, and I mean the entire crowd from the Catholic Central side is always involved, like all of them, even the little kids. Um, and I think that's very unique because I go to a lot of games. I mean, I go to Beaver Creek, Centerville, Springfield High, Kenton Ridge, Shawnee, even Wittenberg, Wright State, and those their fans from the home side aren't nearly as live as the Catholic Centrals. Not even close, and I mean it's not even close. At those games, you got like maybe a few parents, few fans that that are very vocal, but at Catholic Central, it seems like everybody's vocal, and I really love that because it adds hype to the game. It gets the girls going. And it's visible. You can see that the girls get hyped up off of that, and that's very, very good. I love that. I like the fact that they care so much about the girls out there. I like the fact that the coaches care so much. I like that JP ran out on the field the way he did when Lizzie was injured, because I would have done the same thing. I hate seeing our girls get hurt. I hate seeing the Springfield girls get hurt. These are my teams. Um, so yeah, I would have done the same thing. He got red carded, but to be honest, it's whatever. It's whatever. Uh, um, but yeah, man, they were playing really, really dirty. Number 15 from Urbana in particular was very, very dirty. I saw her she grabbed on Caitlin Foley a few times, and I mean grabbed her jersey, was grabbing her arm, like during the 50-50 balls. She was really like, what are you doing out here? And it was really dirty soccer. That's not soccer. Um, but nevertheless, we did get the W, and I'm very proud of the girls for that. I do think that it came a little more difficult than it should have. To be honest with you, I predicted a 5-1 or 6-1 victory for the Catholic Central girls. I think that we were playing center ball a little bit too much. We were not utilizing the sidelines very much. With Catholic Central, you get your best runs up the sideline. Whenever you got Sydney or Bridget or Addie running up the sidelines, you usually get very, very good runs from there. And those runs usually start from the inside out, where you would have like maybe Taylor or Megan go ahead and send the ball outside and have, like, for example, a lot of times you would see Taylor pass the ball to the outside to Sydney. Sydney would take off running on the sidelines. Sydney provides pretty good runs for you. And meanwhile, the rest of the team is heading in, trying to get into the box, or just simply becoming an option on the other side of the field, um, trying to get a good shot off. And to be honest with you, you don't really always need that, because actually, like I said before, Sydney can knock that ball in from way out there, and that's something that if I was her practicing, I would practice doing that more often than not, because it's that muscle memory. Once you get it going, once you realize once you get that feel of it, then you can do it more often. It's something that it's not an accident when she does it. It's she, because she has good placement, in my opinion. It's not an accident. That's something I would practice an awful lot. But this is one of those games I think I was happy when it ended because it was getting a little bit too rowdy. I didn't want to see nobody else get hurt or anything. Like, the referees weren't calling the like obvious fouls. They were missing obvious fouls, and it was really getting irritating because I don't want to see any of the girls get hurt or anything. Um, uh, One thing I do want to say though that I would do if I was Catholic Central, coaching Catholic Central, during those corner kicks, I would use Maggie. Like, I like the fact that she can score off of the corner kicks. Like, that's her thing. Like, she's tall, she has that advantage, and that's a beautiful thing. You know, it's a gift. But one thing I would do if I was that team, during a corner kick, virtually and logically, everybody's going man to man. Everybody's marking up with someone. I would purposely try to get that separation away from Maggie. Try to get her to go, like, basically create a one-on-one situation between Maggie and her defender. Because 9 times out of 10, Maggie's going to win that just from her height alone. And Maggie is not afraid of contact. And I really like that about Maggie. She doesn't, like, during any 50-50 ball, she'll go straight up with you. And I really, really like that. Another person I really, really like that about is, oh man, I done missed your name. Is it Abby Erder? I really like that about her too. She gives you solid solid fights during the 50-50 balls. I really like that. They're not afraid of contact, you know, not afraid of getting elbowed in the ribs and hitting the face, things like that. I really like that about them. But if I was that team, I would use Maggie in that situation a lot. Because, like I said, 9 times out of 10, she is going to get that for you. So what I would do, we used to do this back when one of my old teams, especially, I remember we did it back, even way back when I played on Springfield Thunder. It's called Part in the Sea, where during the corner kicks, I would have half of my, because I was tall and I had a really good jumping ability, so I would have half of my team over here, half of my team over here, because everybody's going man to man. And I would be somewhere like in the middle. So during that corner kick, I got that one-on-one situation a lot, and I would score a lot off of those corner kicks just because I could outrun. I had good timing. I could outrun my defender. I was taller than my defender, and I could jump way over my defender. And over the goalkeeper too. So I would always, not always, but more times than not, I got that score for us. And in that situation, you want to put your whoever's taking that corner kick, you want to put someone out there who has good ball placement. I think Sydney's very effective in that situation. I think the Engle sisters are very effective in that situation. I think Megan Galuch is very effective in that situation. You just want to put some air under the ball, try to send it towards Maggie, and then, you know, let it be what it is. Hope for the best. And I would do that more often than not. The Catholic Central girls are getting ready to play Springboro, and that game's a couple games away, but not Springboro. I'm sorry. Greenon. I don't know why I said Springboro. They're going to play Greenon. I just want to say though, Greenon is playing very. It's impressive this year because they're a completely different team. Last year we beat them. I don't know if it was 3-1 or 3-0, but I know we beat them. But I just want these girls to realize this is a completely different team. If you're watching this video, this might have some helpful information for you, vital information for you. This time, I watched them play a couple of times. When they played Springfield High and when they played some of these other teams, I think I watched 4 of their games. They are completely blitzing. Like, everybody's attacking, it seems like. They're playing with only 2 defenders back. Everybody else is attacking. They literally have 2 defenders way back there and the goalkeeper. That's it. Everybody else is attacking. I guess that because to be honest, Greenon has never been a very solid defensive team. So I guess right now their best defense is their offense, and it's actually working. Normally, I would say that's very stupid soccer, but it's working for them. They have solid speed up there. But the thing is, in my opinion, they don't have the best ball control. That they simply have speed. Their best ball control comes from their wideouts, and they're the most they're the biggest. They're going to be the biggest threat in that game. By the way, Springfield High made this very, very bad decision to go zone defense. I think we were going zone, I think, against them, and that's not. You don't want to do that. To be honest with you, I would go ahead and go man to man with them. And I would, to be honest with you, early on in the game, I would apply pressure on our offense. I would go ahead and put in my emphasis on our offense and try to get them to draw back. You don't want to let them wear your midfield out. You don't want to let them wear your defense out early on, because during that second half, they're just going to pour in the points. One mistake that Springfield High did, though, is, like I said, Greenon's, most of their runs came from their wideouts, from the outside. And playing against Springfield, you had two defenders running out there to challenge that one person, trying to get them trapped up in that corner. But the problem is that those girls out there are so fast, the defenders are always late getting to them. And another thing is, it's very dangerous because, like I said, everybody's blitzing. So you have basically their whole team almost inside of the box. And, it's almost like a corner kick every time. And it's very exhausting to defend against that if you're not defending against it the right way. So we were running out with two girls trying to challenge that one player, and we're running out there full speed, and all she has to do is literally pretty much switch directions and then cross the ball inside. And their speed, they have pretty decent athletic girls, so they're just jumping in, heading that ball right inside of there, getting that good kick in. And with Springfield High, you saw a lot of diving, a lot of stabbing at the ball. Like, you would have the defender running out full speed after that girl, and then all she does is just dribble right out the way, cross it inside, and then boom. And so my advice to Catholic Central, and I really stress this on our defenders, commit, but don't commit all the way. In other words, don't run out there with the intent to kick the ball away from them. Run out there with the intent to contain, not gain possession back, but just literally contain them, and basically try to keep it to where they can't get a clean cross off. You know what I mean? And especially across inside the box. So I would run out, but not run out with full speed, trying to snatch the ball away or anything like that, but just run out and just basically have your presence felt. Like, just put a body out there, make them think twice about what they're about to do. And that's very, very important. If we can't do that, to be honest with you, we can't win this game. Like, if they keep playing the way that they've been playing, with that crazy blitz that they're doing, then that's going to be very, very hard to defend against. We need to get our runs going from the outside. We really, really need to get that ball going up the sidelines. We're crossing the ball. We've been doing this for the past couple of games that I've watched. We're crossing the ball into the inside too soon. We're doing that way too soon. We're sending the ball back into all the traffic, all the congestion, when we have almost clear runs on the outside of the field. Sometimes we only have one or two defenders to beat, and we're sending the ball into the middle where we have 4 or 5 defenders to beat. And that's not winning soccer. One thing I always liked about, for example, Sydney Yachts from the outside always gave you solid runs, and that's something I would use in this game, because for the simple fact that she can outrun most of her defenders. And she gives you good crosses. She has, in my opinion, she has very good ball placement. I nicknamed her Sniper because she has very good ball placement, and she can be deadly even from out there from the 20, 30-yard line. She can be deadly out there. And she has that good curve on the ball, even from like basically lateral with where the goal is. When she runs out way out to the corner, she's almost lateral with the goal, and she has very not lateral but parallel with the goal, and she has very good ball placement. She puts that nice little curve on there, and even if she's not scoring, she's still creating that corner kick like effect. I think in this game, I mean, I hope Lizzie gets. I don't know the extent of her injury. I don't know how bad it was or anything, but I hope she plays in this game because they're going to need her. They're going to need Maggie a lot in that game. They're going to need Sydney a lot in that game. They're going to need the Ingalls sisters a lot in that game. But the one I'm going to be keeping my eye on in that game is Megan Galuch. She. And it depends on whether she decides to be selfish or be generous with the ball. In this situation, it's okay to be selfish sometimes. Like, if you know that you can beat one or two people on the dribble, then go ahead and do that. And that's something I would like to see more of her. I would like to see her pick her head up some more, and get good looks around. The same thing with Sydney, because a lot of times, like in this game against Urbana, we were passing the ball when we literally only had like maybe one defender to beat. Like, all you had to do was turn your head and see that there was nobody else behind you. And, but we're sometimes I mean, I understand you're in the heat of the moment, but it's bad to play with tunnel vision. Always want to keep your head on the swivel and be aware of everything around you. And if you're her teammates, you should be her eyes for her. Tell her what's behind her. One to beat. Tell her she has one person to beat back there. And and another thing is, our midfield has to be quicker to get involved. We're lagging a little bit. We're staying back on defense when we should be attacking more sometimes. And I get it, we're tired, I understand, but, if you want to score, especially going against Greenon, when we play Greenon, that's something that has to change. Another player I think will be very effective in that game is Caitlin Foley, if I'm saying your name right. You will be very effective in that game if she gets herself going. One thing I really like about her is the fact that she gives you solid runs almost every time she touches the ball, and she creates contact. She gets a lot of those fouls for you. I mean, it's dangerous because, I don't want to see her get hurt or anything, but just like how Josie Krupp used to be, Josie used to get you a lot of fouls because she would end up on the ground a lot because she was so small. Caitlin is not the most solid built player, so when she collides with you, most of the time she does end up on the ground, and that's not a bad thing. That's actually an effective thing because it results in us getting a free kick. And and I think she gives you that right pressure in the middle of the field, and I think that's something that is going to be very effective against Greenon because it's going to cause Greenon to tighten up in the middle, and when you tighten up in the middle, then you're more vulnerable on the outside. But to be honest with you, your main objective in this game should be to simply push them back. You want to push their offense back, get them to think twice about their blitz attack, because they're going to blitz you the entire game, and if you're not applying pressure back on them, if you're not putting pressure into their midfield, onto their defense, then they're just going to keep on blitzing you, and they're going to wear you out eventually. So this is one of those games where you're going to have to, it's all or nothing. You're going to have to literally lay it all out there. You're going to have to commit completely, or you can't win this game. And I've been talking for almost 20 minutes now. I'm sorry. But, hopefully this helps a lot. For anybody who watches this, share the video with the other teammates, with the other parents and things like that. Let me know what you think about it. Subscribe to my channel, like my channel, comment, do all of that stuff. I'll see you guys at the next home game, probably, I think. I don't know. So yeah, it's been real.